I think we're fine. Hey everyone, Umber Ray's checking in, just because of, well, last night's stream was having a good time, just playing some games on stream, having some fun, and my computer hit a unexpected snag again. Just shout outs to Dell computers. I have not had good Dell experiences lately, but kind of live again. Basically had just a computer crash, lost internet connection, lost everything. Haven't been able to do any recordings for the last 24 hours because of driver-related issues and computer-related issues again. So again, shoutouts to Dell. But with that being said, I just am probably not going to get any time to do any live streams tonight because running behind on recordings, and that's just kind of put me in a worse position to be able to do stuff like live streams right now, especially while I'm just going to be doing some testing over the next few days, seeing whether or not computer-related issues are gone, because yeah, it's pretty rough when you're a streamer and your computer that you spent a lot of money on nearly dies. So I'm trying to make sure that everything's okay. Going to be doing some recordings, testing it lightly, maybe doing some short little test streams to see if everything's running properly before we do any more big streams. So probably streams returning next week unless there are some major issues, and we'll try and keep you updated on that as best we can. All right, now let's get into the topic of this video, which is the new EX batches. So we got 3 new EXs. We got Elsirelle getting hers, we got Grace, and we got Ahlim, or Alum. Yes, I do realize that the H is there. It's Ahlim for the purposes of this video. All right, so there isn't really a nice way to say this. I actually think that this is just a case of really, really bad, possibly interesting, or possibly good, and last but not least, really good. So let's start with the one that is, to me, just don't waste your time on this unit, and that would be Grace. Grace is, I mean, she's a mid-tier healer, right? She's a white mage, green mage, and Lancer. A little bit of a weird combination, because Lancer does not fit in there well. I guess it's for the stats, but taking a look at her EX, we got magic, we got HP, TP, a little bit of speed in here, some magic, and HP node. But honestly, I'm just gonna say it. This is not the if you're a big fan of this unit, maybe just enjoy her from I just enjoy her perspective, and I use her in some PvE stuff because she's at this point. Wow. All right, so taking a look at it first, we got a upgrade to her counter ability. Just the regen counter. Now it's regenerating 20% of health per turn for 3 turns, which is 60%. That's a lot. And has a chance to counter now at 30%. But honestly, woof. I mean, MRs are not known for their HP, and definitely not for their survivability. This is just okay, but she needs to survive a hit, and then she needs to not be dead on the following hit until she gets another turn. This is just okay. They have had to upgrade something. They upgrade something. Next up, her AoE heal, which is keeping the same amount of range, same number of uses, same modifier. Only thing is it's giving AoE resistance for 3 turns for allies. I think if you're looking for support units, you can find better than this one. And last but not least is her new ability. And this ability is at least more interesting, although not super flexible to be used. Units have to be directly around her. She gets 3 uses of it. 20 spirit for 3 turns, 50% spirit debuff resistance, and healing power by 30 up for 3 turns, but the healing power up is only for herself, and I still think she's going to be lackluster in terms of healing, and there are just better healers out there. There's Ayaka, there's Yuna, there's Like, it's not even just about the fact that limited versus non-limited and Fina exists. So yeah, this is not good enough by any standards. I think that Grace's EX is just one of the worst I've ever seen. It's just not even worth talking about, so let's move on. Just, if you want a support unit, go get, that's a lower tier, go use Phoebe. She's been used for a while. Next up is a Thunder Spear user, Alum, and this one is better, but with an asterisk. So Alum is like a pseudo UR almost, much in the same way of Saria. She's a pretty darn good unit. She's slightly higher costed, and she has some better stats. All of that is just really nice, right? And for the selection quest, she's definitely been useful, and looking into her EX, I don't know if you really want to commit a ton of resources to her, because honestly, I don't think I can recommend her enough one way or another. Looking at her EX, we got some luck, which is going to be important, attack boosts that are going to be important for her dealing more damage, a little bit more speed, sorry, voice crack just a little bit there. And all of that is fine, but she is another one of these EXs that all of a sudden gain critical bonuses. Well, okay. Well, what about her support skill? Is that getting anything up? Yes. It is getting an HP, it was an HP increase before, now it's also giving critical rate up and evasion rate, which makes her kind of interesting, because evasion is much more viable now currently on JP, which could also put in sure-hit units being far more important as well, but I digress. Taking a look at what is getting upgraded, her massive damage hit on a single target is also dispelling all buffs, and performing a critical hit for target will dispel all of the buffs, but also will dispel haste for the target too. Kind of interesting. If this hits, it's already a big bit of damage. She's getting a lot of extra attack in her EX, and she's getting some bonuses for it. Her new support is pushing a little bit more towards the critical attack. I just don't 100% feel super confident that this is the best, because again, I don't have enough experience. If anybody would like to chime in the comments saying that you've used her a lot, you use her a ton, and she's very reliable at dealing criticals before this happens, so now she's going to be even a little bit more. It just feels like a lot of right here is really depending on that. When she was already a competent damage dealer, and just getting more damage would be nice, getting just a little bit more of a bonus here, like dispelling buffs, it could make things easier, not just in selection quests, but in other places too. As for her other ability, well, we got an AoE, it's got 3 uses, 30 AP is not the highest of costs. That also is dealing a 165 mod, so pretty decent damage. Restores AP by 10 when performing a critical hit, so a little bit like Cloud, but that's essentially it. And honestly, feels a little risky reward-y. You're getting a little bit of a discount on this ability because you're regenerating 10 for the cost of 30. That means that this ability effectively kind of costs 20, provided that you hit a critical. And that's the question. Is it like critical enough? Like, is she going to hit enough criticals to get enough bonuses to push her up? I think that all of her kit is satisfactory. It's continuing her down the path of what she was capable of doing already. She was already a pretty little decent mid-tier unit, and I think she can be a little bit better. But I don't really have a huge amount of confidence that you're always going to get a critical hit with this, which means that some of these things are just a little bit of an added bonus when sometimes you actually just need it to work. So that's a little bit why I'm saying that Alum is iffy, but a nice EX for anybody who likes her. And last, and certainly, definitely not the least, is Elsie. And Elsie, one of the last units to come out before EXs, now one of the last units to get EXs. We kind of all expected this, but Elsie is a pretty darn good unit, and you know, a little bit of a popular one. That being said, I think that her EX is pretty nice for a lot of different reasons. As you can see, I've already started EXing mine. Don't have the full resources to do it yet, but we'll get there. Looking at her, what she gets, we get some attack, we get some luck, we get a little bit of critical, some speed, HP, attack, and attack node, luck, and HP. And one of the other reasons that I'm going to say right now that I highly value Elsie is because the FF14 vision cards came back around the same time as this, and Locke is just so hot right now in terms of the JP meta standings. Elsie is a really good place. Like, she would be a comparable switch out for Thancred, I think, in some instances. And that really makes me evaluate her a lot higher. Taking a look, basically her best ability, the attack and accuracy up for the price of a little bit of evasion. Okay, so you're probably not running Elsie necessarily as an evasion. That's fine. You can have other evasion-like characters. She doesn't need to. Basically, what this ability gets is a decrease in AP consumption. She has some pretty high AP costed stuff. Her limit burst was already decreasing her AP consumption, but this decreasing it even more makes her a much more self-reliant unit. I don't think that she's completely capable of, you know, just being totally independent from bells, but this could be, I feel like this plus what her limit burst can do could put her with, for instance, something like Lucio's TMR, which is a lighter version of bells. You know, you put bells on another unit, you put Lucio's cape on her, and then that's giving some, you know, nice AP generation, but also she has just such a big AP cut cost that she can actually run with just less AP regeneration. So that's really nice. Taking a look at her other ability, her buff ability, which is a slash attack increase and defense penetration increase, gets a bit of an upgrade, restoring 10 AP for herself. So it was already a 30. If we can just scroll down, we'll find it. There it is. Before, this ability was already just a TP using ability that regenerated you AP, and now it's just effectively regenerating an extra 10 AP for her. This was an ability you pretty much always want to cast and use it on other characters like Cloud or basically any sword characters. And again, you know, a light slash team is not only viable right now, it's actually looking really, really good on the JP side with those FF14 vision cards too. So this is just a buff that her AI likes to use, and it's generating more AP, and her new support is cutting her AP costs. So just value city in terms of Elsie's kit, and I really do like that. And of course, La Pièce de Résistance is her new job level 25 ability. 165 mod, as you can see, really big range. It is a single target hit, but it's just got such a nice range on it. It's pretty low costed already at only 20 AP. That is just really low costed. When it hits the target, it decreases agility by 25% for 3 turns to the target, and increases AP consumption by 50% for 3 turns for the target. This ability is cool. Elsie already has a little bit of an accuracy boost, which seems pretty nice in the current JP side, because a lot of units are being built pretty frail with just high evasion and just, you know, fingers crossed that it works kind of thing, and that there's no sure hit abilities. But Elsie already has a little bit of accuracy. You could probably build a nice TMR for her that has just a little bit more accuracy, so she's pretty consistent. And hitting the enemy, she could already, you know, restore a lot of HP, and with the extra attack and HP she gets from her EX, she's just going to be better all around. But her new ability is actually quite interesting. Of all 3 that we're looking at today, definitely the most interesting. It's reducing their agility, meaning they're not able to attack as much, they're not able to generate AP as much. they're not able to threaten you as much. It has a large range on it, so it should be pretty easy for her to use. And last but not least, increasing AP consumption is it's unique. It's something original and different, and I kind of love it just because it is able to do that. You know, you hit like a unit with a 69 AP limit burst, and all of a sudden, you know, like Black Witch Helena, I do believe, and then all of a sudden, that unit's limit burst might be just out of range, and limit bursts are very powerful and people want to use them. So increasing that cost by all of their abilities is an interesting way of going, given that there's so much AP regeneration that still needs to be used. I like this ability. I like Elsie's a lot. It feels really cool. It has some unique stuff to it. She's slotted into a very, very good spot right now with just light sword. I think is just really the kind of the place where it is feeling really, really good. And just take a look at the stats that we're already pushing at only level 106 out of 120. She's just got, and yes, I know the counter ability. I'm terrible at ever increasing my counter abilities. Although I haven't really thought about which one I wanted to use. Maybe magic counter. Anyway, just really already solid stats, and I think she'll just be even better once, you know, we get her up to 120. So yeah, overall, I would say that Elsie is the very, 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 very clear winner from this entire batch. It's just not even much of a contest, but it's interesting because, you know, a lot of times recently, it does feel like a little bit higher praise goes to the lower tier units, which get a little more of the unique stuff. But Grace is like a C, a D, or an F. I just don't feel like there's anything there that couldn't be done better by someone else. And in terms of Alum, it may be interesting for Selection Quest, but outside of that, I don't think it's really worth the resources. Maybe if someone can, you know, confirm that she is just super good at dealing critical hits all the time, I could see that working even better into her EX, and that's good. That is definitely good for a pseudo lower cost unit. But Elsie's kit is just heads and shoulders above everyone else's in this batch. So anyway, hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching, take care, and hopefully my computer doesn't explode. See ya.